Hi there, welcome. Christine Weber here, and this is my weekly live stream. I love to support mature yoga teachers and getting their wisdom out there into the world. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about pelvic floor health, and I want to show you one posture that can be helpful and can support folks in getting to know their pelvic floor a little bit better. Many people struggle with pelvic floor health, and there is both a physiologic, well, I should say there's physiologic, there is biomechanical, and then there's also psychological components to that challenge, right? So some of us have been told culturally, we've internalized cultural messages that tell us not to think about that part of our body. That's super common. Um, and some of us have internalized those messages and then created intrinsic holding in that part of the body. So intrinsic tension in that part of the body. And that what that means is intrinsic means below the level of consciousness here. And then, of course, other people have had, operations, births, other things that have created issues in the pelvic floor. So, either there's a lack of tonicity or hypertonicity. So, the pose I want to show you today is simply a way to help you tune into your pelvic floor. It teaches you that you have muscles there. It teaches you that you have some control over those muscles. So it's not that sometimes we get this message in the yoga world, like you should always be doing mula bandha, you should always be contracting the pelvic floor. Not necessarily. Not everybody needs to contract the pelvic floor all the time. But what is helpful is knowing that you have muscles there and then learning or teaching yourself to have control over those muscles. And that is a process. It takes time. I'm not going to like show you this TikTokified yoga pose and just be like, do this and you'll be fine. Like it's so not like that. It's a process that over time things can start to change, things can start to shift over time. So when we think about it that way and we're like, okay, I'm going to dedicate 5 minutes a day to getting to know my pelvic floor better, it's a way that we can start to make real and viable and useful changes in the system. And this is really, I mean, so applicable to just about everything about the yoga practice. It gets us, it helps us to understand ourselves better. So here's what we're going to do. You know this pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, lying on your back, Supta, bound angle pose. But I would like to just invite you to think about it with a different possibility. So I'm going to come down to the floor here, or different intention, perhaps. I'm going to come down to the floor here on my back. You're welcome to do this with me. You don't really need to have warmed up or done anything special to do this pose. And then we're going to take the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. So the practice is take a breath in. Notice how your low back is up off the floor and let the breath go into the belly and the pelvic floor. So this is going to right down there and just let open, soft. And then as you exhale, start to bring your knees about halfway towards each other. Feel your low back lengthen, the belly draw in. Adductors start to fire. And that firing in the adductors, insides of the legs, comes right up into the pelvis and the pelvic floor. And then as you inhale, you just let it go. So the inhale is soft, the exhale is the action, and where you're contracting from like the inner knee up right into the pelvic floor. And then when you inhale, you soften, the belly opens, the pelvic floor opens here. And exhale and draw in. Now you can play with this. There's lots of ways. This is also really lovely for the low back and sacrum, by the way. So when you inhale and open, you can also do quarter of the way. And my low back is still a little bit off the floor. Inhale, open, soften, quarter of the way. And then I'm using different fibers of the muscles. So like there's different interoceptive signals happening. And then inhale, open, exhale, halfway. We did that already. And you can do inhale, open, exhale, three quarters. And now I've shifted my feet. So my feet are flat. So that's okay to shift your feet in the middle of it. You don't have to like torture your ankles doing this. Inhale, open, Exhale in about 3/4. And when I do 3/4, I get more of that sinking feeling in my belly, long feeling in my back, and action in my adductors. And then you can also do all the way, right? The knees come together, the belly sinks, the low back lengthens. Inhale, open, exhale all the way. So you have lots of different options. Oh, and by the way, you can inhale, open halfway and exhale, close all the way. Like you can play with that. There's every different position here you can play with, and all of it tunes you into different fibers in the muscles of the adductors and right up into the pelvic floor. And I'm not doing a really intense mula bandha, by the way, at all. I'm just noticing that I have muscles there and I can do something with that. I have control over those muscles. And that's really the message that you're trying to give to your body. The message you're trying to internalize is like, I have some sense of agency over those pelvic floor muscles. And I think in the long run, this could be really helpful. So, hey, thank you so much for being here. And leave a comment, leave a message. What do you think about this video? What else would you like me to make videos about? And I will see you again next week. Take care. Lots of love.